they being the HOA. Weeks before Christina and her family took their trip, the HOA sent a message about the crackdown on some new parking rules. Christina tells me her visitor's parking registration
had expired before we left for vacation. That's why I parked in the driveway.
Thinking her car would be okay, parked in her own driveway. Apparently not. It took days of emailing, calling the HOA and property management, blasting the incident on social media.
Mind you, we're on vacation and this is all happening. So we're like interrupting our vacation to deal with this.
Her boots were finally removed, but she says it didn't just happen to her.
A lot of residents have had to pay for the boot to be taken off and have still not gotten refunded. And some people have had to take off more than one boot for multiple cars. That's where our issue is really. Okay, so you implemented a policy that didn't work and it backfired and your residents got
Your architecture committee has no minutes. There is no proof that it ever met. There is no procedure. There is no documentation. There is nothing but arbitrary snit and vindictive tyranny. You have destroyed the value of our home. You are about to destroy the value of our home again. You are liable. You are corporately liable, and you are individually liable. Your Nuremberg defense will not work. You are not just following orders. You are doing this willfully, maliciously, noxiously, purposefully. Despite homeowner objection. You have violated the tenor of the law, you have violated the letter of the law, you have violated your CC&Rs, you have violated your corporate bylaws, you have lied to us, you have reneged on contracts, and we're being held liable? No, dear lady, no. We will not knuckle under. We will pursue you in a civil court of law. We will expose you. We will expose what you've done using your own records. We will expose what you've done using photography. On film, where it can't be digitally manipulated. We have all of that.
Ms. Lester, wasn't the agreement that you guys planted your stuff, but we just need, the HOA wanted to maintain it, so the thing in
the HOA has maintained nothing.
Excuse me, I'm trying to have a conversation, a civil conversation. I'm not yelling.
Oh no, you're not trying to have a civil conversation, you're trying to railroad us again. You're lying.
I'm not screaming at you, you're screaming at me.
Oh, I'm not screaming at you. If I screamed at you, you'd know it.
And if you come any closer, please do not. Can you, was the agreement not supposed to be that we were supposed to, you guys planted it, and I understand that there's a myriad of plants that were available, weren't available, what have you, and that the HOA was going to maintain it, but that you guys weren't allowing them to maintain it.
No,
correct?
that is not true.
That's a lie.
All right, you have already breached, you've waived the confidentiality provision, so here it comes. What the settlement agreement provides is that we are not to interfere with maintenance.
Correct.
It says nothing about we are not to plant anything. What it does say is that we need permission before planting the rear.
Well, right, but you guys came to agreement
about the front.
That agreement talked about the back area, which you guys have used this area, right? And we just wanted to, may I come close to you so I can show you something?
We were forbidden from weeding. We have Harley on paper saying that. So we haven't weeded. You want to weed it? I'll weed it right now. If that's satisfactory and you'll go away and leave us to our own lives, I am tired of having a knife stuck in my gut and my back by you people. I've written to you, I have written to Harley, I have written to the Homeowners Association, I've written to Diesel in Florida.
I understand.
Whose lapdog you are. This is heinous. This is purposeful. This is noxious. This is malicious. This is destructive. This is trespassing upon private property for the purposes of punishment. It has no basis in law. It has no basis in your CC&Rs. It has no basis in your corporate bylaws. You are here as a noxious, malicious, purposeful, destructive act.
Okay, so...
How you doing?
The lady, may I come close to you? I just want to show you something on my... I just didn't read anything that I was saying. So this is the original...
Leaking from the walls that I've been calling the HOA for two months now.
HOA, we're having a meeting right now.
Well, you guys don't want to fix things, so this water's been leaking for 2 months.
2 months after an electrical fire in the bathroom area of Quintessa's clubhouse.
This is where the I guess the fire happened. You can kind of see the damage there.
Jake Yamagata couldn't stand it anymore, so he shot this video on his cell phone.
Complete and blatant waste. There's nothing else that you can really say about it then.
The leak is coming from a pipe that used to be connected to the drinking fountain. Homeowners say it's been running like this nonstop since March.
It is Sunday morning.
Week after week,
Leak's still going strong.
Jake kept a video diary documenting the waste.
I'm gonna film how long this takes to fill up this empty half-gallon cart. Then we'll multiply it by that, and by 2 months to see how much water they wasted.
In 1 minute and 40 seconds, the half-gallon container is full.
You know, I did the measurement. It came out to about 2,500 plus gallons a week, which is, you know, astronomical.
Over nearly 8 weeks, he calculated close to 20,000 gallons of wasted water.
The second anything's out of ordinary or out of array that you can see on the exterior of a house or in your yard, you know, they'll send you a notice or they'll send you a fine. But when something that they take care of, then it's not as important.
Quintessa finally did take care of the leak, having it capped off the day after Contact 13 called the board president. But we also found the pool area filled with other violations.
Oh, there's a dead bird in there.
Yep.
A dead bird, live mosquito larvae, and green water.
Your nice pool is turning into a toxic
Yes,
wasteland
yes.
here.
It's a swamp, basically.
After Jake filed a complaint, the health district fined the HOA for violating state sanitation code. Instead of fixing the pool, the HOA drained it. That was in May.
The same leaves are here. Nothing has changed.
7 weeks after we first met Jake, we went back after hearing from another homeowner who's a teacher.
That is the one thing I look forward to every summer when school's out. I'm going to come to the pool, get some laps, get a little color.
And we're standing in the pool.
With no water.
Ricky Martin showed us this letter to homeowners from the community's management company, Camco. It apologizes for taking so long to repair the pool and fitness center, which has had no power since the March fire and remains closed. The letter says the insurance claim check has been cut and should be received any day. That was May 18th.
And I just wonder where the insurance money went, that plus all of our dues.
We had questions for Camco. When we got nowhere over the phone, we paid them a visit in person.
Here we are at the beginning of July.
And I
The
understand
pool
that-
is empty,
yes,
the clubhouse is
do.
dark, residents are paying for things they're simply not getting.
I agree, and unfortunately, from what I understand, there's been some delay on behalf of the board making decisions for opening this pool.
Fingers pointed back and forth between Quintessa and Camco, with homeowners caught in the middle.
They're treating us like garbage and like we don't matter and like our money doesn't matter.
We got no answers from the HOA in response to our emailed questions. Camco urges homeowners to take their questions to Board of Directors meetings. Darcy Spears, 13 Action News.
Who are now fighting back.
Everyday 69-year-old Sil Ross Adams finds the strength to help her soon-to-be 72-year-old husband in and out of the house.
Being exposed to the Agent Orange just ruined his body.
William served a year in Vietnam. He now has PTSD, poor circulation, diabetes, and a whole list of other ailments that claimed his leg, a big toe, and soon another toe.
We had to put the disability ramps up. We had one in the front and one in the back.
The wheelchair ramps were approved and inspected by the Department of Veteran Affairs before the couple moved in last April. But Adams says the Meadows of 7 Points Homeowner Association's treasurer, who was also her neighbor, had other plans.
We wanted the unsightly ramps gone, and that's how our little problem began.
Adams says the treasurer claimed the ramps were a violation of the HOA guidelines, and if they weren't gone before the couple moved in, he would sue.
We just did not think they had jurisdiction over what the Americans with Disabilities Act had set forth for us to do.
The Adamses are now taking their fight to the Tennessee Fair Housing Council.
I don't want anybody else's liberty to be taken away from them the way I felt like they did for us.
Sil Ross says they will get a ramp. Until then, she has no choice but to help William get around one step and one push at a time. In Hermitage, Kelsey Gibbs.
Keep them safe.
They're really pulling. They want to get on the rocks.
But here, Barbara Carlisle and her neighbors struggle to do something that seems contrary to common sense.
As you know. Stay off the rocks.
The one place you wouldn't want to walk your dog is the only place you can in this East Valley community. As noted in their December newsletter, pets may walk in streets only.
They're going to stop and sniff and stop and sniff.
And so we are all afraid to walk our dogs.
The new rule about walking the dogs in the street means literally having to walk them down the middle of the road. This is an HOA that doesn't even have sidewalks, and all the rocks and bushes on the side of the road are HOA property. So, dogs walking on rocks, sniffing plants, or lifting a leg could lead to violations and fines for their owners.
They got CCNRs in here, said you're allowed 2 dogs. If they don't want dogs in there, they need to change the CCNRs.
Jim Scholar doesn't own a dog, but he's one of nearly 20 homeowners who showed up to induct their HOA.
It's just not right, Darcy.
Into the Hall of Shame.
How many of you, by a show of hands, have ever voted on a change in the CCNRs for this rule of dog walking in the street?
You ain't gonna see no hands.
You're telling me I'm not going to see any hands, and as we look around, we're not seeing any hands.
No hands.
Contact 13 learned that's because it's not in the community's covenants, codes, and restrictions. The CCNRs just say owners have to clean up after their animals in lots and common areas, but they also say the board can make more rules to regulate pets.
We love our pets. Sometimes walking our pets is the only exercise we get. Now, this time of year is not too bad, but you get in the summer.
Homeowner Richard Pearson says forcing dogs to walk on asphalt in the summer heat could constitute cruelty. An HOA legal expert we spoke to says associations can't pass rules that make you hurt your pet. According to state law, rules must be reasonable and cannot arbitrarily restrict conduct.
I understand the importance of it, but there's got to be humanity with it. The board, this is an issue with the board.
An issue we tried to help resolve by calling every board member.
Hi, Randy. This is Darcy Spears calling from Channel 13
to ask what the point of the streets only rule is when they already have a rule requiring owners to pick up after their pets. After leaving a message for the board president, we tried the vice president,
and she just hung up on me.
Then the treasurer.
Do you know why I'm calling before you tell me you're not interested in speaking to me? So are you not prepared to discuss the board's decision on restricting people from walking their dogs anywhere but down the middle of the road? She hung up on me too. It's becoming a pattern.
We did find one board member who didn't want to go on camera but said she disagrees with the rule. Her exact words?
Dogs should be able to walk wherever people can walk.
Homeowners want the board.
New tonight, a homeowner is defending the American flag she put up in her own front yard. ABC Action News reporter Julie Salomon found out why her HOA says she's violating the rules.
Put one like in the corner.
Tonight, Jackie June decorated her front lawn with American flags she just bought.
I'm not doing this out of disrespect for anyone. I'm not doing this to prove a point. I'm doing this because I love the American flag and what it stands for.
In March, she first placed a set of American flags outside her Palm Harbor home.
I had about 15 of them. Just the little tiny ones that you get at the dollar store.
1 month later, her homeowners association sent her a letter. Since then, she's received 3 more, saying, remove miscellaneous items from view. Small flags outlining the front yard are a violation of HOA rules.
I think what floored me so much was the fact that it's almost unpatriotic to tell somebody to take their flag down.
June says these flags represent sacrifices her family made. Her husband served in the Army. Her 19-year-old son currently serves in the Air Force.
I lost my husband who served in the Army. I lost him almost 3 years ago to Lou Gehrig's disease. And so I just, in honor of him and on Forces Month and Memorial Day, I kept him out.
June sent us a copy of HOA rules. It states no more than 3 lawn ornaments on any given yard. June says she's standing up for those who serve.
I believe strongly that I want to show support for my son and I want to honor my husband.
Reporting in Pinellas County, Julie Salomon, ABC Action News.
Symbol of all, our country's flag. 831's Nicole Zedek joins us live with the family's struggle to fly their flag and why their HOA is telling them to take it down.
Nicole, these flags have been patriotically waving here at the Lake Forest community since back in July when the Hudnall family installed this flagpole in front of their house. But now, more than a month later, the HOA is telling them to take it down or risk paying a fine. Now, according to the Lake Forest HOA, they have a section written in their covenants and restrictions that states no flagpoles other than ones mounted on a house and shorter than 4 feet can be placed in the community without prior written consent from the HOA. Now, the Hudnalls tell me they tried contacting the HOA to ask for permission before installing this flag. They never sent a written form, but they did call 3 times a day on July 15th, 17th, and 18th, but no one from the office picked up the phone, even after the family says they left multiple messages. With no response, they decided to install the flagpole, and then, more than a month later, they finally had contact from the HOA.
No one from HOA contacted us until yesterday. We received a letter in the mail stating that we had violated the HOA and that we needed to take the flagpole down. In order for me to do that, I would have to crack concrete, destroy everything that my kids and I did and my husband and I did, and watch this flag come down.
Dr. Jill Hudnall doesn't understand how it could take this long to hear back from the HOA. She says if they had her address, they should have contacted her back in July, telling her to fill out a written form and how to correctly go about the process. To the Hudnalls, this is more than just a neighborhood fight about how they want their house to look. This is about showing their patriotism and displaying their pride in American values, something their entire family has fought to protect. All more on their military background and why they're willing to put up a fight in order to display their patriotism. That's all tonight on Way 31 News at 10. Reporting live in Huntsville, Nicole Zedek, Way 31 News.
We'll see you then, Nicole. Thanks.
This is a story we've been following all week long. A senior community kicking out a teen after both of his parents died, saying that teen can't live with his grandparents. ABC 15's Adam Waltz digs into the legality of the HOA's claim.
I've stepped in things that I find nicer than you people.
An understandably angry Prescott grandmother, Melody Passmore, taking in her 15-year-old grandson, Colin, whose parents died just 2 weeks apart. However, the HOA at the Gardens at Willow Creek had other ideas, sending a letter to the Passmores saying Colin has to go.
Just seems so heartless.
ABC 15 sharing the story that soon went viral. Now we're taking action, looking into the legality of the HOA's claim, something not unfamiliar in Arizona.
They were threatening to not only kick him out, but kick out the grandparents.
Youngtown, Arizona was the nation's first age-restricted community. In the 90s, when a teen was taken in by his grandparents in a hardship situation, Youngtown attempted to kick them out. The then Attorney General stepped in.
And he was shooting baskets into the night outside in the driveway. And a lot of these oldsters didn't like that.
Woods sided with the family, finding that Youngtown didn't file their age restrictions correctly, and the kid was able to stay with his family.
It seemed to me that the right thing to do is to show a little compassion.
The Fair Housing Act protects home buyers from discrimination, including age discrimination, but senior living communities have etched themselves a little loophole. One of the reasons senior communities can get around this is if at least 80% of the homes are occupied with somebody 55 or older. Former AG Grant Woods says in this Prescott case, he favors compassion over the rule book.
What would you want him to do? Turn him away? Oh, I'm sorry, you have to go live on the streets because we live in a 55 and older community. When a tragedy strikes a family in your community, I would think that these old people who live there would walk over and say, how can we help?
A lawyer for Gardens at Willow Creek issued a statement saying they are working with lawyers for the family. According to their CC and Rs, the HOA's board can also make an exception and let Colin stay. Woods also saying that he would be willing to volunteer his time to mediate the situation free of charge. Adam Waltz, ABC 15, Arizona.
If you are renting and you did not receive notification to your home, by law, it is up to your homeowner. Now, if your homeowner says or did not receive that mail, they would have to dispute this meeting at the end of this meeting with an attorney and with ADR or by through lawsuit. Not a problem. With that being said, question, why do you need an attorney to dispute a notice that you not received as a homeowner? You don't. It's an option. Oh, okay. There are several options. And again, this is all in accordance to the Rayburn Act. So anyone at any given time can Google the Rayburn Act because we are following that as a homeowner association. Now,
Excuse me, is our lawyer here now?
our lawyer is present on the phone should she need.
Okay.
Can you tell us what ADR is? ADR is an ability to dispute any kind of notification. So, if we send out notification and you don't agree with that notification, you are allotted 10 business days to bring your argument or rebuttal to that notification in accordance to those rules and regulations.
And I would see Frank and Lauren at every meeting, and they'd be sitting together at every meeting, and they're friends, which is fine. But then I see Frank up there with the board, and I read in the paper that he's interim, and how did Frank get that position? Take off your mask.
Can't hear you.
Listen up.
When a board member... Let her speak. Hey, sir.
When a board member leaves in the middle of a term, the bylaws say that the rest of the board shall appoint a board member to fill that position.
You are not to interrupt me. They got 5 minutes. Give it to them.
Wait.
You are not to interrupt me.
Stacy and Rich.
What is he saying? What's going on over there?
I want to
Is he in a howl club?
Is he?
Probably not. Did you laughing?
He is.
Oh, is he?
She's really sitting there laughing about it. She really brought her cop boyfriend to act as security. That's ridiculous. Is it? I don't know. I thought Mom said it was her boyfriend or something.
All right, as we conclude this, because the meeting is now concluded.
What about my question?
I have a question.
You wasted everyone's time.
Go up if you want a question.
You said we could ask
Questions?
We voted her in.
But there's a lot of names on that list.
Yeah, they said they were going to count off the names.
Yeah. People came here to ask questions. You took up all the time with your BS.
That was a rap. You punched me in the face in the full meeting. That was a setup.
Well, the guy who was appointed, there's an election in November, so make sure he's voted out, and then they don't have majority anymore.
Really?
Wait. It's a safety hazard to the children on our court, and she does not care about her safety. But yes, on our website, it clearly states. I love your shirt. Look at her shirt. I love you. I know you.
Fucking goof that's just what get in the meeting. There's an election in November. The guy who they rubber stamped in so that they have majority.
Frank is. He's Frank.
It's her friend that she put in so they have the third vote to overrule Rich and Mark. He's up for election now in November. He's up for election in November. Make sure you
I
don't
don't
vote him
understand
in.
why they're voting for each other. Like, who are you? I'm gonna knock your teeth.
She appointed him. She brought her friend in. Yeah.
She's another party.
She's been here 2 years.
Your what?
He's temporary, and everything they're voting on.
No, you need to.
That's why they're trying to rush it in before the election. There's an election in November. He's up for election.
No, he's not getting in. Don't worry about it.
Yes, we do this. Yeah, it does.
Right, we just have to vote him out in November.
We are. You think anybody here wants them?
No, absolutely not. They're not representing their community. They're brand new. I've been here 19 years. They're brand new. They think they can come in and change
Which one
everything.
lives on Woodpecker? Is that Lauren? Who walks her dog and doesn't pick up the dog shit?
Yeah. And somebody,
You know what?
I like how they ended before anybody could ask those questions.
No,
I like how it ended before everybody who signed it went over to like myself.
Don't breathe on me.
Alright.
Well, I guess. Yeah, really.
Okay, you guys moving in soon?
Yeah,
Eventually.
See what he's doing over at the